What's up, guys? George Balekji here with Boston has entered the chat. But hey, check out the latest episode of Foxborough Rush. Legal tampering periods here, which we're going to get into on the chat. But also, with the Patriots having the 4th overall pick, spending a lot of cash, getting immediate impact starters, check out the latest episode of Foxborough Rush, where we break down what the Patriots have done right in free agency, what they could have done better, and what this means moving forward. That's Foxborough Rush, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, and wherever you watch them as well, especially on Nesson's YouTube. Now, let's get to Boston has entered the chat. Let's go. It's that time.
Busy time.
Woo, man.
Fast and
Boston
furious.
has entered the chat. George Balekji here with Travis Thomas. We're going to get right into it. We're going to be talking about legal tampering, all these agreements that have been reached, including the Patriots flipping the best defensive tackle out there on the free agent market to come to New England. We'll get into depth on that and what they did to basically build out an entire starting defense. We'll get into some more legal tampering breaking news. We'll talk about a little bit of Steph Curry taking on a new role, and also Brad Marchand speaking for the first time as a Florida Panther, but still reflecting on his time at the Bruins. T.
Yes. Fast and furious, bro.
It was right away.
I know.
And I got to say, we were upset. The gut punch of Milton Williams. Panthers and that's
at
when
first.
I look back, I go, wait, Patriots? So the Patriots signed Milton Williams.
Right.
Sounds like 4 years, $104 million, $26 a year. We'll get more numbers as they come in on the fully guaranteed. And that is, as of the recording of this contract, that's the numbers we have.
Yes.
Recording of this podcast. But we're sitting, and I go, dude, Panthers got Milton Williams.
I was hurt.
And then it was Patriots got him. And I read back, it goes, Panthers finalizing a deal with Milton Williams. Until it's pen to paper, man, I'm not going to believe anything. All of this is agreeing. So as of the recording of this podcast, Patriots have agreed to terms so far with Milton Williams, Harold Landry, the edge rusher, Robert Spillane, off-ball linebacker, Carlton Davis, who you called, the cornerback too, and Morgan Moses, a starting right tackle. They just added 2 starters on their defensive line, a starter at their inside linebacker spot, and a starting corner. They added at every level of the defense, and that was just hours into the spending period, along with getting a starting right tackle. So the offensive line, defensive line, linebacking group, and secondary got better. Look at that.
I want to give them a really good grade, but the grade as of now is incomplete.
Yeah.
Because you have to. You have to get Cam Robinson. You have to do it. You have to do it. Now, I've sort of punted a bit in terms of wide receiver because there's no one left. Like, what are we talking about for wide receiver? I know you're a Slayton guy, right? But, these top wide receivers don't exactly grow on trees. You missed out on the DK Metcalf sweepstakes. All right. You missed out on the T. Higgins sweepstakes. All right. I guess you can kind of keep kicking that can down the road or address it on draft night.
Yeah.
But right now on draft night, you have to draft Will Campbell because you don't have a left tackle. And you and I are not at this stage comfortable with Will Campbell being a Joe Alt-like pick where it's obvious you take him, plug and play for the next decade.
Yeah.
We feel like Campbell is a spot starter there, but more likely a guard. I think you must get Cam Robinson. And if you do that, I am okay with this free agency run here. I mean, your defense is new look. You're trying to improve on the offensive side, but it starts and ends with a left tackle as far as I'm concerned. This is incomplete unless you bring me Cam Robinson. I was hoping for Ronnie Stanley. We know what happened there.
Yep.
But Cam Robinson is a must sign.
And this is too of, I understand everyone going like Cam Robinson played terrible last year. There's the PFF grades going around where he's right behind DeMontre Jacobs maybe, or maybe just a little better than him. He was traded to Minnesota midseason. When he was with Jacksonville, he allowed 4 sacks and 15 pressures in 7 games.
Yep.
When he was traded to Minnesota, where he played weeks 9 through 18 and the wild card round, 4 sacks, 49 pressures. So he went from allowing 2 pressures a game to almost 5 a game. Literally doubled. But in a change of scenery, when he was with Jacksonville, he was good. And who knows what it does to a player's psyche to get traded midseason, not even just traded, benched, and then traded. Everyone going with the Cam Robinson stinks. I don't want him.
Man.
Morgan Moses is 34 years old. Do you want a starting right tackle to be 34 years old? No, I don't. No. But you know what I want more than a 34-year-old starting right tackle?
Competence.
I want Morgan Moses more than I want DeMontre Jacobs, Vidarian Lowe.
That's right.
Fill in the blank.
Same.
You need to get starters. And that's what I love that they did. The gut reaction on this one, if you look at signing Milton Williams, $26 million a year, Morgan Moses, 3 years, $24 million, Carlton Davis, $20 million a year, Robert Spillane, 3 years, $37 million, Harold Landry, 3 years, $43.5 million, so around $14, $15 million a year, along with bringing back Austin Hooper as well. That's starting level players. Right away, just signing Morgan Moses alone, your offensive line room got better.
Yeah.
By bringing in Milton Williams and Carlton Davis and Robert Spillane and Harold Landry, the whole defense got better. They're doing well so far. This is great. And also the thing, 4 years, $104 million for Milton Williams. That's the third highest in annual salary at $26 a year. We'll find out the guaranteed money. Sixth highest total value. They're overpaying because would you rather have this defense stink and they don't pay anyone and get a Levi, the guy from the Lions, I don't want to say his last name, at a bargain price?
Sure.
Or do you want them to swing, take the risk on a Milton Williams, who led all defensive tackles in pressure percentages,
Super
by
young.
the way?
Yep.
Like swing big, overpay, you stink, you have the money, and guess what? This is the market.
Yeah, and they want to get better in the trenches, which they told us as well. So this is on brand with that, which is why I go back to the Cam Robinson thing. I'll say this too, a lot of these players have experience in the system. I mean, they played either for Vrabel in Tennessee or in Detroit with Williams. So there's a familiarity here with a lot of these guys. And I think so coming in, you're ahead of the 8 ball in that sense. You know what these coaches want. You know what the culture they're trying to build. You've already been a part of it. You know how to buy into that.
Yeah.
And I think that's just going to be a big advantage in getting a lot of these new look and these new faces that are here in New England, up to speed. They come in ready to go. They already know the expectations. They know, how to work within the system and what the expectations are for the coaches. So that's an advantage not only for the players, but for the Patriots as well. They can hit the ground running.
Yeah. And what's big on, I understand Milton Williams, and I said it too, he's going to come in. He's going to have to be the guy because he was someone playing with Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave,
Right.
Jalen Carter.
Right.
Like Fletcher Cox, future Hall of Fame defensive tackle. Jalen Carter on pace to be that type of guy. And Javon Hargrave, one of the best at the position when he's on the field as well. So he was always the number 2. And my guy, Taylor Kyles, put out highlight tape, right? Or a cut, an all-22 cut of Milton Williams, where he was dominating. And I quote tweeted it and I said, hey, that's a lot of one-on-ones thanks to Jalen Carter eating up those double teams. But even if you want to go to the biggest play of what it was last season for him, on that strip sack fumble, forcing that on Patrick Mahomes, he got the double team. That was left guard and center, locked in on him, and he still got to Mahomes. What this guy comes in, if his numbers, his pressures, all his sacks, all of that drops off, but if he's opening things up for Christian Barmore, if he's good to go, for Keon White, if they kick him inside to be more of a B-gap lineup at the 3-tech defensive tackle instead of over the offensive tackle or wide 9 pass rusher.
Sure.
Or fill in the blank of rookie defensive tackle. If he opens things up for them, that is money well spent.
Yeah.
They got better with every single signing. So I really like them getting Milton Williams. And even Jordan Schultz, who's locked in, he tweeted, Milton Williams has agreed to a contract with the Panthers, has agreed. And then Patriots came in and got Milton Williams. They're matching, they're countering, they're upping the price. They're doing everything you want right now.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm looking at the size of these New England corners now with the signing of Carlton.
Talk nice to me.
Carlton Davis. I told you this is him and Reed both I really liked, and I was fine with either signing. A few things here, because this is the signing that jumped out to me. Number one, Carlton Davis is 6'1", 206.
Talk nice to me.
Gonzo, 6'1", 205.
Yep.
So you have big, physical, strong, dynamic corners. And in Carlton Davis's case, sure, he's expensive, but it's money well worth it because now you have 2 guys at that position. Good luck. And then the improvement to the front 7 that we've been talking about here. This defense is real deal Holyfield. And listen, I'm all for the trenches. I'm all for this front 7. I like what they're doing here. But as I look on the islands with these corners, good luck. I just don't think you're going to have success throwing the ball against the Patriots. If you could generate pressure up front, which we believe they can now, and then you have those 2 dogs back there. So I love the signing of Carlton Davis. The other thing it signals to me, though, that personally I'm going to have to accept here. I just don't believe Travis Hunter is going to be a New England Patriot. We already kind of were feeling that way. Him and Abdul Carter should be off the board. But even if he's there now, I can see a scenario where the Patriots would take a Will Campbell and pass up on a Travis Hunter. And I'm just going to have to stomach that. Because, listen, with this signing now, you have your cornerback number 2. He's paid like a cornerback number 1, but you have your cornerback number 2, and I'm okay with that.
And we'll get to talking about getting paid like a cornerback 1.
Now, if you bring in Hunter, he's going to be a receiver, and maybe that's a different conversation, but I don't really see that.
But actually to this, I'll tell you this, man. Don't close the book on Travis Hunter.
Okay.
If he's there at 4, you still take him, because let's think about it.
He can play receiver.
We haven't even talked about they missed on DK Metcalf.
Right.
And I think there's more to it, right? Because the Steelers, who traded the 52nd overall pick, the Patriots are picking 38th overall, didn't trade for DK. Maybe that says what they thought of DK. I am totally against all of that. I wanted him. He's an apex predator. He's a wide receiver 1. I'm not going to hear he wouldn't have fit in Josh McDaniels' system.
Yeah.
You think Josh McDaniels would rather call plays with DK Metcalf as his number 1 receiver,
or Pop
or a
Douglas.
guy, Brandon LaFell, who literally was the number 1 receiver for him. Right. But getting to that, what I say is, Carlton Davis played for Terrell Williams in Detroit. And what Detroit fielded was a 3-cornerback defense. 4-2-5. 5 DBs on the field. So if you look at Shirley's snap count, but also him in zone and man, he's like the CB3. No, he's always on the field, right? So he's a starting corner, sharing that with 2 other starting corners. So it very well can be, and Carlton Davis is better in zone than man. It very well could be elite athlete Christian Gonzalez,
scary.
Elite athlete Travis Hunter, and then Carlton Davis, to your point, who's bigger,
knows the system,
200 plus, but 200 plus pounds compared to Travis Hunter, who's like 190,
soaking wet.
You could still see Travis Hunter in New England. So don't close the book on that, because I was thinking that too. I was like, Carlton Davis played a lot of snaps, but he was 3rd on the lines. It's like, no. That is modern day defense. And that's what Terrell Williams wants to run. Because think about it right now. It's Harold Landry on one end, where he is a outside of the tackle, wide 9 pass rusher.
Right.
Then it's Milton Williams in the 3-tech. Christian Barmore, opposite 3-tech. So guards outside shoulder.
Yes.
And then we'll see who that opposite edge rusher is on the other side. And so you have those 4. Robert Spillane, 6'1", 230 pounds, heat-seeking missile. I'll get to his run defense numbers.
Yeah.
One of the best tacklers.
You got to have that.
For linebackers. Their tackling last season was terrible. They got better at run defense, and I'll get into Landry's numbers as well, with Spillane and Landry. And then they got better on the back end.
Yeah.
And they're not done.
That's right.
We're doing this pod a few hours into the legal tampering period in the NFL.
Yeah.
They're not done, Trav. That's the best part. But I love you brought up the Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
I get why you would think that. Let me tell you, my friend, I got good news. Don't close the book.
I love that.
Don't be done writing that chapter.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
And it's even, think of Sam Darnold going to Seattle.
Yeah.
That keeps quarterback needy teams in the top 3.
Sure does.
He could have gone to Tennessee. He wouldn't have gone to New York.
So all 3 teams ahead of you are quarterback needy right now.
And a lot can change,
all 3. We need a 3rd quarterback to emerge, though. Jackson Dart, somebody.
And the one thing, but we'll get back to the Pats talk, Jets are going to sign Justin Fields. So the Raiders at 6 got Geno Smith. The Jets at 7 have Justin Fields. There's the Saints at 9. Less trade back partners, less likely trade back partners.
I think the Saints are actually stuck with Carr, because I read something recently where his dead cap number is insane if they cut him. So I feel like they might be stuck with Carr for another year.
Yeah.
What's missing here, though, what you really need is a 3rd quarterback to emerge, a Jackson Dart, a Milroe, somebody where it feels like the Giants takes it, and then maybe you have your pick at Carter or Hunter. If that were to present itself, and that feels like pie in the sky, but just since we're here and it's on my brain, if Carter and Hunter are both on the board, right now from what you've seen with free agency, who's a better fit for the Patriots? Would you go Hunter or Abdul Carter if they're both available at 4?
I would go Travis Hunter.
So
that's a prospect I cannot pass up on.
Same.
And think again, remember the report that came out, Patriots viewed Travis Hunter as a wide receiver 1 and cornerback 1.
Right. So he would.
Who's the
play
wide
both.
receiver 1 for the Patriots? I don't know. Exactly.
I don't know.
And then what they can do is you have a wide receiver cornerback 1 under cost control.
Right.
We'll see the more details that comes out about Carlton Davis and how long. 3 years, probably 2 real years get out from under it.
Sure.
That's how it goes. More details on Milton Williams.
Yep.
4 years, $104 million, $63 million guaranteed per Adam Schefter.
Wee.
Carolina worked on a deal, but New England upped its price and would not be denied. Patriots fans, this is what you want.
That's what you need.
I don't want to hear they're overspending. I don't want to hear it's too rich.
That's right.
It's not about the price right now, because by next week, Milton Williams will be underpaid. Another D tackle will come and reset the market. And what we're seeing at a lot for total value, a lot on AAV, a lot of guaranteed money, it's not going to be that way. And guess what? Would you rather them not budge and go, you know what? Milton, go to the Panthers. We'll be okay here, and have no one at defensive tackle? Or would you rather have a guy? This guy is a dude.
Doesn't his signing help a Harold Landry too? You know,
yes.
That it sort of unlocks his
1,000%.
Yeah, his ceiling, his potential.
Because if they can just lock in on, we don't know what's happening with Christian Barmore either.
That's right.
And you have to overcorrect with that. And I hope he's okay. First and foremost, his life.
Yeah.
His life is what's most important above all. But yes, exactly. You have Milton Williams on the same side as Harold Landry. Pick your poison. Who you're going to double team. And also the $63 million fully guaranteed, 8th most.
Wow.
So that's a thing of like, AAV is the number people get caught up in. Like, you're telling me he's making let me go defensive tackle. Sorry, I was all defensive line. You're telling me on his annual salary that he's making just under Christian Wilkins and Chris Jones. And we were having the conversation with our producer Ethan as well. I go, dude, I get it. I understand. But what's the guaranteed money? That's what matters to players.
Absolutely.
And also, it's like, well, they have nobody and they stink. So this team that stinks, you need to pay them. Fully guaranteed, $63 million. That'll be 5th most for defensive tackles.
I don't hate
just beating Dexter Lawrence and Jeffrey Simmons, who are both the same age as Milton Williams signing this contract.
Right.
That's the market.
I don't hate it. That's the market.
Hey, remember all the talks? What are the Patriots? It's like the classic of take the less appealing free agent, don't pay as much, and guys come to them. No, they're going after guys.
You have
and that's
to.
what you want.
Well, that's why I'm going back to it. I'm sorry I'm taking you all over the place.
No,
I
you're
can't
good.
help it on a day like today.
It's fun. We're talking ball, baby.
It's where Cam Robinson, I feel the same way. Just pay the market price. You got to have it.
Yeah.
And listen, I say, and I just...
When I check my phone, I'm looking for Cam Robinson
Yeah,
updates,
please
so
do.
I am listening
Please do.
to you.
Because if we get breaking news during now that he's a Patriot, this show just got different. I am popping bottles. But... listen, I could also see a world, even though I just said, you're telling me there's a chance with Travis Hunter at 4 or Abdul Carter at 4. I could still see the Patriots overpaying, signing a Cam Robinson. Some Patriots fans being excited, such as myself. I like the signing. Some groaning and saying, you overpaid for Cam Robinson. Cool, got it.
Yeah.
Draft night 4, they reach, and they take Will Campbell. And then all of a sudden... well, yeah, I mean, they did address exactly what they said they would this offseason. Trenches on both sides.
Helping out their quarterback.
Although they didn't get the wide receiver one. That is something you'll just have to figure out down the road.
Yeah.
But you did improve offensively. You did help your quarterback out, certainly in terms of protection. I think that's a real possibility here.
Yeah.
We're kind of throwing everything against the wall.
Yeah.
Cam Robinson and a Will Campbell, who, by the way, if you bring in a Cam Robinson... say, you could talk about his production last season. You can say whatever you want. He's a true left tackle. Okay, there's no denying that. Then if you draft a Will Campbell, George, he's in a better position because he's more versatile and he's likely a guard. So I think even going that route, bringing a Cam Robinson who's a bona fide left tackle, draft a Will Campbell, now you're cooking on your offensive line.
Yeah. And then Cam Robinson holds it down.
That's right.
And if you're looking, and Doug Marrone is who we think he is, he goes, Will Campbell's a left tackle. You have time. And if he can be a guard, 6'6", it's a big guard. Let's see if he can get down in stance. Also breaking Josh Sweat, 4-year deal, $76.4 million, $41 million guaranteed. Arizona Cardinals. $41 million guaranteed. That is the 9th most for all edge rushers in the NFL right now. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get more, to be honest. I mean, I just absolutely love him. I love his tape. I love his film.
Well, that suggests the market wasn't what he thought, right?
I'm surprised, especially Drew Rosenhaus being his guy. I thought he'd get more at that point.
Me too.
So quick, too, I want to talk about, and there's the thing between Josh Sweat, Robert Spillane, 3 years, $37 million deal. So he'll be 29 at the start of next season.
Okay.
6'1", 230 pounds.
Yep.
4th highest graded run defender per PFF for linebackers.
Gotta have it.
3rd highest graded tackler by PFF. 4th best in tackle percentage by PFF, and I'm going a little opposite metric. He had the 4th lowest missed tackle percentage. 4th lowest. Dude, this guy, if a ball carries
Tackle
there,
machine.
wraps him up.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if you're a running back, a tight end, a wide receiver, a quarterback, a mailman, a dog walker, a florist, a custodian. He's going to tackle you.
That sort of speaks to what you were saying
Run
schematically,
defense stunk.
defensively. Well, that and also, George,
You need a
you talked
linebacker.
about having more corners out there in this system.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a little light in the hind parts on the back end of your defense, all of a sudden you got this guy who can go sideline to sideline and tackle anything that moves. You have to have that if you have all these corners out there. So listen, again, not only are they, I just like that they're active. You had me at like being aggressive and trying to get guys. So I appreciate that, but I also see sort of the chess moves here. It's not just frivolously going out and overspending and spending money and getting big names in here. These are all signings that fit a puzzle piece, George, schematically of what they want to do defensively, and I'm all for it. I'm actually looking forward to watching this defense. I know everyone's going to, moan and groan when I say this, but I always felt like where Gerard Mayo sort of fumbled was, well, he fumbled in a lot of places, especially in the media, but where he fumbled on the field as a coach was, I didn't think they should have been that far removed from what Bill Belichick was trying to do. And if you remember at the end, it was very much turning back the clock in terms of stylistically.
Yeah.
Run the ball, don't turn it over, play good defense, and we'll win some games here. You're not going to be dynamic. You're not probably going to be a Super Bowl team, of course, but you can win games with that formula, even in 2025. And I just felt like under Mayo, they didn't have any identity. There is no doubt from what Vrabel wants to do and how this free agency period is starting to take shape. They are going to have an identity, and it is going to be to punch you in the mouth over and over again. I mean, this team has an identity. They're going to be a bloody nose for everyone they play. I'm excited to see that. I can't wait to see this defense. Of course, we're all hyped for Drake May year 2.
Got to get stops.
But I want to see this defense, man.
And that's because his defense was terrible.
Yes.
And
you got to have an identity, George.
How did the Eagles win the Super Bowl?
Well,
with the defense.
Saquon didn't hurt, but defense, yes.
I mean, Saquon got shut down.
Right.
He got him to the Super Bowl.
Right.
But that's important. This isn't defense. This is Super
A.J.
Bowl
Brown didn't hurt. Devontae
you
Smith
still
didn't hurt.
Get stops.
But you got to get stops.
You got to get stops. The Chiefs couldn't buy stops. And they had an elite defense, but they didn't help themselves out with the offensive line.
That's right.
You got to win in the trenches. And that's really where the Eagles won. And that's where the Patriots are trying to get better. Between Robert Spillane and Anthony Jennings, they're both top 25 in stop percentage on opponent run plays, too.
Wow.
Anthony Jennings is one of the best run defenders at the linebacker position, too. I'm curious to see how he fits in. Is he a first down edge player?
Yeah.
Second down edge player? If it's second and short, then comes off, and then maybe a guy of a more pristine pass rusher comes on.
Right.
But also look at the linebacking room right now. It's Robert Spillane, Jelani Tavai, Juwan Bentley, Christian Ellis. I think Christian Ellis sticks because of his versatility as a special teams player.
Yep.
Juwan Bentley, I could see being a post June 1st cut. It saves $1.9 million in cap space. Jelani Tavai, I think it could be the same thing. Now, Jelani Tavai has a versatility of he's lined up as a pass rusher and done well too. So do they look at Spillane? You're the off-ball linebacker. Jelani, you're going to be an edge rusher. And they have depth on the edges because they're not going to be done adding. They're going to add in the draft, and they're going to keep adding in free agency. Keep in mind, they have the most cap space in the NFL.
Can I ask you something? With Godwin going back to Tampa,
Nice.
we haven't really talked about wide receiver.
Yeah, a quick 3 years, $66 million, $44 guaranteed from Tampa. Per Ian Rappaport, he took less money to stay with Baker.
Yeah.
He could have gotten he left $20 million on the table, reportedly.
Okay, so this is a Ronnie Stanley deal. Now,
yes,
Stanley we understood because the Ravens are literally knocking on a Super Bowl's door.
Yeah.
The Bucs, hey, I don't know, do you trust Baker Mayfield to get you a Super Bowl? Clearly, Godwin does. But I don't want to talk about Godwin. He's not coming here. Screw him. I want to talk about how do you pivot now if you're the Patriots? Because DK Metcalf's gone. Godwin's gone. Those were the two names in terms of big name that you heard there. Obviously, we'll see what happens with a Cooper Kupp or something like that. But, George, what do you do now at the wide receiver position? Because I keep saying and using the saying that they're kicking the can down the road and they'll figure it out next year.
Yeah.
And I love that protecting Drake May is a priority. Of course it should be. I do believe the offensive line will be improved, but he's clearly not going to have a true go-to weapon.
I want to see real quick, too, what time the Godwin deal was agreed to. So the thing with like the Ronnie Stanley is like the Patriots never even had a shot because it wasn't legal tampering.
Right.
The Patriots did have a shot with Chris Godwin.
Sure.
But that was basically like, I feel like 10, 15 minutes maybe into legal tampering.
Wow.
Where they go at this point, and again, I think it's a slow game. It's a long game. Because to me, I never wanted Chris Godwin. So full transparency.
You didn't.
Coming off the injury.
I did.
And for that price, because if he left $20 million on the table, that's roughly $6.5 million a year, let's say, right? So the Patriots sounds like they were up to offering him 25, 26, 27 million a year.
Yeah.
Which is what was reported by Mike Giardi. So awesome. DK Metcalf went for 30 plus million a year. I would have rather traded for DK Metcalf,
Me too.
gave him the 30 plus a million a year as well, and go that route. I think it's going to be the non-sexy signing of Darius Slayton. Because what they're going to do right now, they had to swing big on Godwin. It sounds like they met their price. Swing big on Milton Williams, go big on Cam Robinson, and then Darius Slayton is more within budget. Because as we did yesterday, I want to run it through because we did this on Foxborough Rush, which you can check out wherever you get your podcasts. Real quick, is yes or no? Okay. I'm not playing a gotcha game.
Sure.
Jalen Polk, is he a wide receiver too?
No.
Okay. Kayshawn Boutte, is he a wide receiver too?
No.
Okay. Kendrick Bourne.
Fringe.
Cool. Pop Douglas.
Fringe, but probably a better third option.
Okay. Javon Baker, did I even mention him?
You didn't, and you don't need to.
Couldn't
The
even see
answer is
the
no.
field.
Right.
Okay, and I'm saying like wide receiver 2 anywhere in the league.
Yes.
Real quick, Darius Slayton, if he lands with the Chargers, is he a wide receiver 2?
Absolutely.
Even if they say got DK Metcalf, cool. If he landed with the Jets, who have Garrett Wilson, is he a wide receiver 2?
Yes.
Cool. That's the thing with Darius Slayton.
It's definitive.
It's like I get it, he's a wide receiver 2, and I know it. But guess what? You don't actually don't have that. So the same way of Morgan Moses is a 34-year-old right tackle.
Yeah.
It's not the sexiest signing.
I'm not a fan.
He's about to be year 12 in the league. You'll like this about him. Played the entire season.
I covered him.
Played through his sprained MCL and fractured knee.
Yeah. He's a tough guy.
And that's what you need. And he helps out a Caden Wallace, who was a third-round pick.
Yep.
And if Caden Wallace is something, Morgan, it's not that expensive. Caden, you step in. But you have something at right tackle. Darius Slayton would be, you would have something on the outside.
That's fair.
And he would be a wide receiver 1 on this roster. But it's not just that. He's better than anyone on this roster. As an outside receiver, they don't have that threat. And they very well can go. And again, to address the wide receiving room, Darius Slayton in free agency is what I want to see. And then second, third round, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Xavier Restrepo, they better come off the board and be wearing a Flying Elvis helmet.
So you are kicking the can down the road in a sense because all these guys you named are Band-Aids. They're not the solution.
Devontae Adams went to the Rams. Like what? So, well, Darius Slayton's young. He's 28. He's a big receiver. You're good
saying he could emerge as a one.
I don't think so, but I don't know because he played with such bad quarterback play. Keep that in mind.
You want
to
see him with Drake?
He was with the Giants, yeah.
Right. Okay.
But he would be a wide receiver 2 for the next 2 to 3 years.
Right.
And then when you draft a guy like a Jaden Higgins, it's kind of the Packers route, which I don't love, but it stinks. There's not that guy in this draft.
Right.
If there was that, A.J. Brown was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
If there was a Xavier Legette, second-round pick. But if there was a Roman Dunze, top 10 pick, could be a wide receiver 1, cool. There isn't that guy.
Yeah,
it's not Ted McMillan. It's not.
No, it's
Trey
not.
Harris, Pat Bryant, names to keep an eye on, too.
Okay. All right.
Some more signings. So Harold Landry, 3-year, $43.5 million. Harold Landry, of course, drafted by Mike Vrabel and Titans. Robert Spillane, undrafted free agent out of Western Michigan, spent his rookie season with the Titans on their practice squad, so reunites with Mike Vrabel and Terrell Williams. And Robert Spillane, reading about him in Vegas, he was with the Raiders. That was a guy where it's like everyone in that building and guys around the NFL that I talk to, that I follow, like they're like, I just love him. I love his game. Like they're going to sign him and it's not going to be sexy, but they need to bring him back.
But he's a baller.
And the Patriots identified him and got him.
Sure.
It's an upgrade on the run defense. And that's what I think is so big about that.
I think the strength of this team's definitely going to be defense here early in the embryonic stage of developing Drake May. And then eventually you hope by the time Drake May becomes the dude and it's time particularly to get him paid, you'll have a much better offense built around him.
Buffalo Bills signed Josh Palmer, 3 years, $36 million, so $12 million a year. Maybe get Darius Slayton $16 million a year. Maybe you get him a little cheaper than I thought it could be. Hey, if you want to stream the entire Sox season with the NESN 360 annual plan, it's available at an all-new reduced price of just $20 a month paid annually. And for a limited time, get 4 free tickets to Fenway with your purchase. Visit NESN360.com to sign up today. Let's talk about DK Metcalf quick.
Bring it.
So trade to the Steelers for the 52nd overall pick.
I thought that was it.
I know. I thought the same thing, too. And DK Metcalf given the big bag, too, where he got a $150 million extension.
We knew that.
Total from the Steelers.
Yep.
5 years, $150 million. And that is 4 new years, $132 a year. So that's really the money he got from them. He got paid. That's a price I would have paid for him.
We knew that was coming.
That's a trade I would have made with the 38th overall pick. He ended up in Pittsburgh. I think it says that for the Patriots, they're going to take their time. And think about this. Milton Williams is the highest paid guy in that locker room as of the recording of this podcast with that massive deal. I think they're being very methodical of who is the highest earner in their locker room. And they're being very methodical of the vets they bring in to mentor the young receivers. Because the room's going to get younger this year. There's going to be 2 rookies in that wide receiving room.
That's an interesting perspective.
Because even say if they went with a DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
He's not what he once was, but in the red zone and goal line, I mean, that's the guy you want on third down.
And you're desperate because your receivers suck.
But DeAndre Hopkins doesn't practice during the week.
Right.
Do you want the young receivers around that go, I don't need to practice. I could just play.
No.
It's things like that. And I like DK. I would have signed up for everything with DK Metcalf.
Me too.
I wanted all of that.
I'd have given him
and
this
a bag
contract.
of chips.
Yeah.
I would have done all of this. I wouldn't have changed a single thing.
Same.
I would have probably given him more money.
Yeah.
But they didn't get him. And the joke, of course, is, well, he wanted a warm weather contender.
Right.
The Steelers are closer than where the Patriots are. Simple as that.
You mean
Great
to winning.
Yeah.
You mean to
Great
winning.
defense.
Yeah.
Him and George Pickens. Okay, offensive line. We'll see the quarterback situation.
What do you mean we'll see the quarterback? This is why I call BS on these
he's
players.
He's an idiot.
Right.
Well, some of it is he's dumb. He's
Yes.
like, I don't know who your quarterback is. I'd rather play with him than Drake May.
That's what I'm saying.
Drake May, just pure eye test real quick, Trav.
Yeah.
Drake May is going to be making at some point $70 million a year, and he's going to be top 5 in the NFL. And I'm talking he's going to be playing when Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson are still playing. And he's going to be top 5.
Yep.
That's the thing with Drake May. DK Metcalf went to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
To get what? 1 year with Rodgers, one
Who's gonna
more
get injured
year with
behind
a
that
Russell
offensive
Wilson?
line?
Right. It's just ridiculous. And this is why I call BS on these players. And I told you this on air the other day when it happened. DK is not the first or the last guy to say this, and I say BS every time. When they say, I want to go to warm weather. I don't like that area. I don't want to go to that place. None of it matters. If your money is up, that's when the players come. That's all that matters. And this is another feather in my cap to say, I told you so, that you can't believe anything these players say. It always comes down to money. They don't even have a quarterback in Pittsburgh right now. And DK's like, yeah, how much? An extension? Yeah, I'll go there. No problem. What? Drake May and the Patriots would have been a much better fit. Drake May, for everything that George just told you, eye test. And then also, I think he could have got more money from the Patriots as well. And if the Seahawks had hustled right, they probably could have got a better pick as well.
That's exactly it. So I think the fact that the Seahawks only got the 52nd overall pick, I think the Patriots really didn't want DK. They used that doesn't fit in the system as probably an excuse.
Or what he said in the past.
Yeah, maybe.
You don't like New England, do you? No problem. You just messed your money up.
Pittsburgh's long, too. What was it? Too many syllables? Pennsylvania. 4. Pennsylvania. Massachusetts.
Wait, what is this trick?
Every time you're you never learned that in grade school? No. That's how you learn how many syllables are in a word. You hold your hand below your chin and go, Massachusetts. 4 syllables.
I love that they took the ISO cam while you do this.
2 syllables. George. 1
Do you
syllable.
look in the camera while you do this?
Ethan. That's our director, producer Ethan. J. 1. See?
Hooked on phonics. Works for me.
DK Metcalf. I was a good reader, terrible at math. Still am. I know contracts, though.
GM George.
I love that stuff.
GM George. Let's talk about Darnold.
I wish I learned geometry. I didn't.
We knew Darnold was
real
good.
Quick, Patrick McCarty to the Jaguars. That's a guard, very versatile, can play both sides, offensive tackle. Patriots aren't going to get him. Wanted him.
Yeah.
All right, go on. So Sam Darnold.
That's another. I would rather go to the Patriots than the Jags, but that's another topic for another day. Darnold, we were not shocked, right? We knew he was going to Seattle. We didn't know what the contract would look like, so we're not shocked by the move and the signing. I was a little shocked by the money. I thought Sam Darnold was going to get more in this market. I was
Yeah.
a little surprised. Good for the Seahawks.
Yep.
But I was a little surprised Darnold didn't fleece someone for more money.
This is the Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
$50 million a year for Baker did 3 years, $100 million, got $50 million guaranteed. Darnold did 3
For
$100
$110
million, $500,000. So $100.5 mil.
Yeah.
And he got $5 million more guaranteed. And what's funny, if you think about it, this is smart by the Seahawks, who are hitting reset. Traded Geno Smith for a third-round pick. Traded DK Metcalf for a
I
second-round
have
pick.
a lot of picks.
This is the contract they would have given Geno Smith.
Right.
They got 6 or 7 years younger at the quarterback
Yeah,
position.
they did.
The guy, it's pretty similar to me ceiling-wise. Maybe
Yeah.
Darnold's ceiling is higher, but his floor is lower.
Yeah.
You know?
Feels like
But this is what
a
Geno
younger
would have gotten,
Geno.
but except
Right.
the Seahawks got younger and got more draft assets with a second-year head coach. And
Good
Sam
defense.
Darnold reunites with Clint Kubiak, who was his offensive coordinator when Darnold was in San Fran.
Yeah, they have a decent defense. They have some guys over there on the defensive side. They have 2 good running backs in Walker and Charbonnet. They just both get hurt, but you got to figure that out. Is Smith and Jigba, I guess, now is the one, right?
Yeah, he's a slot, though, so I think they have a lot of draft picks.
They have a lot of draft
They can
picks.
draft, who knows what they can do. Right now, they have the 18th, the 50th, the 52nd, the 82nd, and the 92nd overall pick.
Gosh.
5 picks in the top 95. That's what you want.
Yeah.
So-
you just fill out holes
And
in
they
your
could get
roster.
plenty more.
I actually think that's a good move for the Seahawks. I just wonder the trickle-down effect to the Patriots. Like, how does Darnold going there as opposed to a Tennessee or as opposed to some of the other teams we threw around? Because once Geno, our trigger for you and I, conversation-wise, once Geno got moved, we were like, okay, Darnold's going to Seattle. But I'm just wondering, how does that help or hurt the Patriots' big picture?
They just still want – it's good he didn't go to Tennessee
Yeah.
because they still need a quarterback.
Or Cleveland.
Right?
Right.
Cleveland, same thing, still need a quarterback. We'll see what happens with Aaron Rodgers, if it's Giants or Pittsburgh for him.
Right.
You want those 3 teams to stay quarterback needy.
Yeah.
You want them to want Cam Ward, Shador Sanders, or Jackson Dart.
Right.
That's it. It kept him out of going in the top 3.
Right.
And it could have went both ways. If Darnold went 1 to Tennessee could have traded back, let the Giants pick
That's true.
Cam Ward. Then Cleveland goes hands up. All right, let's take Shador Sanders. We need a QB.
Yeah.
Tennessee goes Abdul Carter at 3 or Travis Hunter, and then someone falls at 4. All 3 of those teams have not found a quarterback yet. So that's how I think it's good that he didn't sign with one of those top 3 teams. So that I think it's simple. There's so much at it, and it still very well could be Abdul Carter, Cam Ward,
It
Travis
could.
Hunter, Will Campbell go top 4.
Yeah, it could.
Could
and
be that.
Shador ends up wherever he ends up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you go to the – would you go Jets and sit behind Fields or compete with Fields? Because it's not like Fields is a knockdown,
Yeah, and that's a
drag-out
contract
QB1.
where you can afford 2 quarterbacks.
Right.
Like if Fields isn't playing, you'd be paying that money anyway.
Right.
If you went with someone big money, so
Man.
I think it was a
I
smart
can't
deal.
believe there's a chance the Patriots get Travis Hunter. I
It's
thought it
still
was over.
open.
I thought
No,
it was
no,
over.
no,
I'm
no,
not
no.
gonna lie. As soon as I saw Carlton Davis's name, I was happy because I've been telling you. I called it. I was like, they're gonna spend some money on a cornerback too,
Yeah.
to complement Gonzo. But the second thought in my mind was just like, damn, there goes Travis Hunter.
I
But
love
they're
Carlton Davis.
still alive.
They got bigger in the secondary by signing Carlton Davis,
Yeah.
which is a wanted. Just I keep replaying that Rams game
Yeah,
where it's Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, just too big.
terrorizing you.
Yeah, and just going inside, beating everyone. So all in all, Patriots, as of the recording of this podcast,
Yes.
have agreed to deals with Morgan Moses at right tackle,
Come on.
Carlton Davis at cornerback,
Yeah.
Robert Spillane off-ball linebacker, Harold Landry as an edge rusher, Milton Williams as a defensive tackle, and also are bringing back Austin Hooper. That is so far.
That's right.
Also, Dan Moore Jr. went to the Titans. So that's a left tackle
Okay.
going.
Yeah,
Good.
we talked about him.
All the Patriots got is Cam Robinson.
That's right.
Put up
Come
with
on,
his
Cam.
football character. I'm not worried about
Whatever that means.
Bears continue to rebuild their offensive line. They got Drew Dahlman, 3 years, $42 million. So the Bears
Okay.
have added Joe Tooney,
Yeah.
Drew Dahlman.
They've
They
rebuilt
continue
it.
to add on the inside.
for them.
Chiefs got Jalen Moore to play left tackle.
All right.
Buccaneers retain Chris Godwin.
There you go.
Hey, if you want to talk some NBA, check out Hold My Banner, hosted by Travis Thomas and Ante Campbell. You can catch a full interview with Stan Van Gundy on the latest episode of Hold My Banner, available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever else you get your podcasts. That's Hold My Banner, all things NBA, all things Celtics, wherever you get your podcasts. All right, let's get into trending.
All right.
Let's start out with Steph Curry, assistant general manager
Yeah.
of Davidson. He's the first
Current.
active player in
Yeah.
the U.S. in any major professional sport to take an NCAA admin job.
So weird.
Dude, it's raising money. That's what an assistant GM is. Smart by Davidson. Smart by Curry. Help out your alma mater. He gets Davidson into circles they don't even have a shot of being in.
Couldn't he do that without this
Silicon
role?
Valley.
Couldn't he do that without this role?
I feel like you have to make it official in some way. It's probably NCAA
Rules and such.
And also if you're
I don't
Steph,
know.
and like think about it, Davidson, is it a state school? I don't know. If it is, hey, get a nice little state pension.
Oh, please.
Just like, why not? But why not? Like, what's wrong with Steph Curry taking an official role,
I don't know.
assistant GM, and just helping them connect? Need NIL money? Here, I know this company.
No,
hey, give this much to my alma mater.
It's funny you say that because I was like, assistant GM. Why didn't they just make him the GM? So I looked into it. The GM is like a big wig exec at Under Armour.
But that's it.
And that's it. This is an Under Armour play.
Good for them.
So good for them. But maybe it's an old head in me. I don't know. But it's just so slimy. Like, it just feels so slimy. I can't get used to this. Like,
how's it slimy?
Because he's playing. Like, you're not the assistant GM. You are entitled. You ain't doing a damn thing. The GM, the guy who's a bigwig at Under Armour's running the show.
Yeah.
And he's just going to call and say, Steph, I need a favor. Do X, Y, and Z for me. Show up on Zoom and say this, or come to this fundraiser and do this, or this gala. It's just like lame. I don't know. Steph, you're busy. Like, you're trying to get in the playoffs. You got stuff to do, bro. Isn't he a handicapper, like a great golfer? Like, aren't you busy enough, bro?
Here's some anti-hate juice. You're just hating now, bro.
Hate. It's just so lame. It's just, I don't know. It's a new world.
It's definitely, there's NCAA rules where if you want Steph to be affiliated in this way with the university,
he has to have this title.
It's either he does this or this. Exactly. That's what I think it is. I have friends that are in like a volunteer role, like on game day sides with their alma maters, but they had to be given a role, like a title in a way.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I think it is.
It feels slimy to me.
Dude, well, hold on. If it was slimy, it would be Steph going to Davidson once a month and dropping off a duffel bag full of Under Armour gear, and then they open the box and it's cash.
And it's cash.
Like it used to be Happy Meals being given out at Tennessee.
Yeah.
And now it's assistant GM roles. That's what it is. It's not slimy.
We're seeing a lot of players in this role specifically, though.
I like seeing him go to his alma mater.
Right.
And in the parity that continues to grow in college sports. Like High Point is in the NCAA tournament. They got a good team. You need NIL. Yeah. It closes the gap.
Yeah.
It gets their guys.
Good for Under Armour and Davidson. Those are the two that really won.
He was probably already donating a lot of money to Davidson.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now it's just more official role.
Right.
Here's a big one. J.C. Horn signed an extension with the Panthers. Yeah. $100 million, $70 million guaranteed. Highest paid defensive back in NFL history. The extension added after his fifth-year option. So that's when this kicks in. Big money for him. Now, this is just under the $77 million guaranteed that Patrick Surtain got, but this puts him up there by all the metrics of how much he's getting. Man, you know what it's going to be? Christian Gonzalez is about to be year 3 for the Patriots. And between year 3 and year 4, they have to decide on the fifth-year option. It's going to be Patriots pick up the club option. And then Gonzo gets 4 years, $105 million,
Easy.
$75 million guaranteed.
At least.
So J.C. Horn is setting the market for young cornerbacks.
Well, remember, I'm throwing Surtain in there too because they're both similar deals here. And yeah, you're right. I mean, if you're Gonzo, you're just sitting back, rubbing your hands together like Birdman because you're like, all I have to do is continue to show that I can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I think that's a key with Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
We have seen enough. We know you are a stud.
Smooth as butter, man.
But can you put it together consistently next season and the season after that? If you could do that, that's really the only thing he has to nail, George. Mm-hmm. Stay healthy. Figure that out. Get on that TB12 if that's what you got to do. But just stay healthy. If he can do that, he will, when it's his time, reset the market. But I wasn't shocked by Horn. In fact, he had to do the same thing. He had to overcome injuries, George. And he has proven he can stay healthy. And when he does, he's one of the best in the game. So
that's what's
it's
big,
possible.
And it's been 2 years. And
because Horn had injury issues too.
What's big for the Patriots, say if they hit on an edge rusher receiver in this draft, they're going to extend Drake May after year 3. Like they're going to pick up a 5th-year option, extend him. It's what's going to be like Trevor Lawrence stuff.
Right.
They're going to extend Christian Gonzalez. Just look at this roster overall, and it kind of goes full circle on the guys they signed today.
Mm-hmm.
No one they had when you looked at the roster, you go, I'm keeping Drake May, Christian Gonzalez, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're going to say, I'm keeping Drake May, Christian Gonzalez, Milton Williams, right? Robert Spillane for the next few years. I know he's up there in age. It's just they're finding starters. And Mike Vrabel, the reports came out too, the Patriots were eyeing they wanted to exit free agency with a roster they said we can win on Sundays with this.
Right.
So that's what the Patriots did so far.
Yeah.
J.C. Horn gets his money. Good for him. Good player.
Yeah, he is.
Christian Gonzalez is going to get that money.
Oh, yeah. And he's going to deserve every penny.
Josh Allen got $250 million guaranteed. Trevor Lawrence got $200 million guaranteed.
That's crazy.
Drake May is going to get $220 million guaranteed.
So you have to strategically be ready for May's contract and Gonzo's contract. By the way, you know who's going to help Christian Gonzalez get paid even more?
Travis Hunter.
Well, don't you do that to
Milton
me. Don't
Williams.
you threaten me with a good time. Carlton Davis is.
Yes. I mean, if Gonzo's just shut down, man, Carlton Davis gets all those interceptions. Either way, man. I like how it's coming out. I want to see another ad on the back
Still
end.
want Travis Hunter, though.
Hey, if you enjoy the show, you want more football talk, check out the latest episode of Foxborough Rush, and you could catch a full episode of a little parody on a popular show that's out there. It's about being in a tank with an apex predator. I won't say it exactly. This one's called Rush Bowl, but it's available on YouTube to watch a full episode. You could also catch new episodes of Foxborough Rush on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, wherever else you get your podcasts. All right, I want to talk a little Brad Marchand.
Okay.
So he spoke as a first time as a member for the Panthers.
Yep.
Brad Marchand got very emotional. Saw how much his time with Boston meant to him. I'm a third of the first sound we have, and this is just him reflecting on his time, 16 years as a Boston Bruin.
You know, I've had an incredible run in that organization, and I'm extremely proud. How things went there. Sorry. So yeah, it was very disappointing that things didn't get done, just because obviously I love the organization. I wanted to stay there.
I wasn't ready for that.
Me
I'll
neither.
never be ready for that.
It's like, and you know what my take was on this show yesterday? I was like, it had to be done. It was the right move.
We didn't love the Florida move, but we both kind of prepared ourselves
but
the
I
best.
see it. Yeah.
We prepared ourselves on the front end the best we could because we both felt like he could get moved. But, you know, I wasn't ready for that. You know, the guy's emotional. He's a Bruin, man. Even wearing that Panther stuff, George,
He's a Bruin.
I still saw Bruins.
Yeah.
Still.
And just think of when he was drafted in 2006, just how young he was coming to the league from Canada, right?
Right.
Comes in at 21 years old.
Wow.
Well, he's drafted in 06. His first debut was 2009, right?
Yeah.
With the Bruins. But he's 21, and from 21 to 36. That's the most formative years of your life.
Absolutely.
And think about hockey. It's not like he went off to college. Think about you, 21-year-old Trav, then think of 30-year-old Trav.
Man.
Think of 30-year-old Trav and
Right.
37-year-old Trav.
Right.
Now just think of like growing up all in one place, and then the place that you love, that you gave your all, you gave your body to. They go, look, we love you. We thank you for everything. It's a business.
Yeah.
And like I feel like that's just, it hits them all at once.
Gosh, but them though. That's the other part of this. The Panthers.
I know.
I mean, honestly, Kachuk, Bennett, Marchand, teammates. Oh, it just hurts my stomach saying it out loud. It's not. We were all gonna. I'll speak for us all collectively. We were gonna be emotional, just like he is, regardless of where he ended up. But I think it just stings a little more that he's with the Panthers to me.
That's it. If it was Dallas,
Right.
you can name
Kings.
teams.
Remember, I was all over the Kings.
I
I thought the Kings made sense.
If it was the Avalanche,
But he didn't want to go West Coast.
which I get because of his family.
Right.
Where you got, what is it, March? You got 3 more months left if they make a Stanley Cup run.
Right.
He still wants to be close to his family, still wants to make it work out.
I could see them make. By the way, since you bring it up, I could see them making a Stanley Cup run. Would that shock you? Wouldn't shock me at all.
Kachuk comes back. They have him in the long-term IR, but saves on the cap
Marchand
number.
comes back.
And then the second line is Kachuk, Sam Bennett, Brad Marchand.
I can't, bro. That's my glass case of emotion. I had prepared it feels like a divorce. Like I knew, okay, that a breakup could be imminent. So I tried to prepare myself for that mentally, just saying goodbye to him. But I thought it would kind of be out of sight, out of mind. And then the reports come out. He didn't want to leave the East Coast because of his family. And then the Panthers. And it's like, whoa.
I know.
Oh, I'll never be ready for it. But we don't have a choice, my friend. This is business. This is the world we live. And it's a new look Bruins. And it's as simple as that. And you got to move on.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's a divorce. Because no matter how bad both sides hurt, the sun comes up the next day, and you still got to put one foot in front of the other. You know, I'm kind of a motivational speaker. Maybe a life coach.
You're my life coach.
Hey!
More than a co-host and best friend, mentor.
That's scary, though. You better. I wish you had aimed higher, but we'll do the best we can.
Hufanga, safety from the 49ers.
Yep, where'd he go?
He ended up signing with the Broncos. He's really good. Injury history, but he's good.
I like what the Broncos are doing.
Yeah, I like what they're doing, too.
Any news on Cam Robinson before we get out of here?
Nothing on Cam Robinson.
Nothing?
I'm checking.
Okay, all right.
I'm checking. I showed you my
That's what I make sure.
One more check, real quick.
Sure.
Hey, no, people are hanging. We're around.
If we could break that Cam Robinson news to the Patriots right here at the buzzer beater at the end of the program, woo!
I would not be ready. My brain would melt.
We would see George's brain melt right here when Boston has entered the chat.
Nothing.
Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Keyword being yet, right, Pats?
Yep, nothing.
Come on, Cam.
He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Balekji. This is Boston has entered the chat. Appreciate you guys making us a part of your day. Have a great rest of your day. And for now, we'll say later. And when we see you next time, more Patriots updates and adds to the roster. See ya.